Yeah, it is 25th Amendment time. Donald Trump had a psychotic meltdown late on Monday night where he held a brief press conference following the College National Football Championship in Miami. Donald Trump's press conference was a complete and utter disaster. He admitted that he invited Vladimir Putin to be a member of Trump's phony board of peace. And then Donald Trump attacks French President Emmanuel Macron for not wanting to join the phony peace board and says, I will tariff France 200%. I will go after their wines and champagne. Here, play this clip.
Have you invited President Putin to be a member of the board of peace?
Yeah, he's been invited.
Do you have any response to President Macron saying he will not join the board of peace?
Oh, did he say that? Well,
yeah.
Nobody wants him because he's going to be out of office very soon. So, that's all right. What I'll do is if they feel like Costo, I'll put a 200% tariff on his wines and champagnes, and he'll join. But he doesn't have to join. If he said that, you're probably giving it to me a little bit differently. But if he actually did say that, but as you know, he's going to be out of office in a few months.
Then Donald Trump again confirms that he indeed invited Vladimir Putin to sit on his phony peace board, which is part of a plan to destroy NATO and the United Nations. Here, play this clip.
Did you invite President Putin to join the...
Yes, he's one of the people, these are world leaders, and the answer is yes.
Then Donald Trump, foaming at the mouth during this psychotic meltdown, he says, we have to have Greenland. I need it. I need it. And Denmark needs to give it to me, he says. He goes, why? A boat went there 500 years ago, so they say it's theirs. It is mine, and I am going to take it, foaming at the mouth like a psychotic madman. Here, play this clip.
What do you plan to say to European leaders in Davos when they push back on your Greenland plan?
Well, I don't think they're going to push back too much. Look, we have to have it. They have to have this done. They can't protect it. Denmark, they're wonderful people. And I know the leaders are very good people, but they don't even go there. And, you know, because the boat went there 500 years ago and then left, that doesn't give you title to property. So we'll be talking about it with the various people. We've had tremendous success, and I've done more for NATO than anybody else. I don't think you'd have NATO right now. I got them to go 5% and pay as opposed to 2% and not pay. I've done more than any other American president for NATO by far. And we'll see how that goes. But Greenland is very important.
Then Donald Trump attacks Norway and says, oh, Norway claims that it doesn't own the Nobel Peace Prize and it's an independent committee. Trump's like, nonsense. They clearly control the Nobel Committee and they didn't give it to me. They should have given me the award. Now they're not giving me the award, so it's no more Mr. Nice Guy for me. Again, 25th Amendment time right now. He goes, I don't care what Norway says. What, a little baby? Like a little psychotic baby? Here, play this clip.
If anybody thinks that Norway doesn't control the Nobel Prize, they're just kidding. They have a board, but it's controlled by Norway, and I don't care what Norway says.
Then Donald Trump continues down this path. I don't care about the Nobel Peace Prize. And he goes, a very fine woman named Maria Machado said that I should get it. So I got it anyway from Machado. He doesn't even know her name. This nice lady gave it to me. You mean the opposition leader in Venezuela who you pushed aside to have Delcy Rodriguez, the authoritarian who was Maduro's vice president, now run Venezuela along with Diosdado Cabello, Maduro's enforcer, who have clamped down even more than Maduro has on the opposition in Venezuela. But Donald, they did allow you to take some of their oil, sell it to your right-wing oligarch friends, take the proceeds, hundreds of millions of dollars, stick it in a Qatari bank account that you control for yourself. And I guess pro-democracy people wouldn't allow you to do that. But here's what Donald Trump says about the Nobel Prize. Again, play this clip.
In a letter that you wrote to Prime Minister saying that the Nobel Prize has influenced your thinking on Greenland?
No, I don't care about the Nobel Prize. First of all, a very fine woman felt that I deserved it and really wanted me to have the Nobel Prize, and I appreciate that. If anybody thinks that Norway doesn't control the Nobel Prize, They're just kidding. They have a board, but it's controlled by Norway, and I don't care what Norway says. But I really don't care about that. What I care about is saving lives. And I think I've saved tens of millions of lives. If you look at India, Pakistan, just as 2 nuclear powers, you look at so many of the countries that were in in some cases, a 35-year war, and I got it done. We stopped 8 wars, and maybe we'll be stopping a 9th very soon. We'll see.
Then Donald Trump, again during the psychotic meltdown, says, yes, we've brought down prices. Inflation is over. The economy has never been better right now. Okay, here, play this clip.
Mr. President, how do you feel about the first year of your second term?
Amazing. Tomorrow is the first year. Think of it, 1 year. I don't think there's been a term like it. I don't think any president has had a better first year than we've had in terms of success. Again, we've taken our country from a failure with open borders, no business, everything going badly, terrific inflation, the highest inflation in history, prices that are through the roof. And we brought prices down. We have very little inflation. We have a great economy. And the prices are coming down still further. But I inherited a mess. And now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world.
And then Donald Trump is asked, well, what's your message going to be when you go to Davos in Switzerland? What's your message to world leaders? And Trump says, my message, how well we're doing. We have never been hotter, he says. Here, play this clip.
President Davos, sir, what will be your message to the leaders?
Well, I think I have a lot of messages for Davos, but the primary message is how well the United States is doing. And I say it all the time. A year and a half ago, we were a dead country, and now we have the hottest country in the world. I mean, you're beneficiaries too. If you look, some of you have 401ks. You don't have to tell me your numbers are the best they've ever been. And the stock market's at an all-time high. We are just doing great. So I think the message in Davos, we're leaving, going to have an interesting time. We have a lot of meetings scheduled, but the message for Davos is how incredible our country is doing.
And then you have state regime media try to, cover up for him or sell his demented messages, truly demented. And by the way, hat tip to Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego, who calls him out for what he is. He's like, this is a madman. This is a demented man. More on that in a moment. But you have Hannity, one of the state regime media propagandists, and he's like, well, look, we need to give everybody in Greenland $100,000, maybe even $500,000. So, Hannity, I'm just trying to understand this. Giving Americans health care is communism, and we shouldn't do it. Helping Americans afford education, helping Americans afford medicine, that is, whoa. Helping Americans afford homes, that's not okay. Giving the Greenlandic people $100,000 to $500,000 each so that we can conquer them and annex them. You're okay with that? And the Greenlandic people are like, we don't want that money. Do you even understand the way Greenland works? We don't care about money like that. Like we just want to live our lives in peace and to go about our lives in a peaceful manner. Here's what Hannity says. Play this clip.
Which is not exactly a smart position for them to take. President Trump is now considering offering up to $100,000 per resident. There's a little over 56,000 residents in Greenland, and he wants to actually activate the economy of the island and let its citizens benefit and capitalize on the vast natural resources. Only the U.S. can do this, giving residents there a chance to build real significant wealth, every one of them.
And then the Trump regime brings in MAGA Republican Senator Schmidt, who tries to push these ridiculous messages. Play this clip.
And one other point here, Sean. The fact is, President Trump is acting in the interests of the American people. He doesn't care much about, currying favor with the elites in Brussels. And that's really what this is about. The Europeans are so used to sort of everyone speaking to them a certain way. President Trump has a job to do, and that's to protect the homeland in the Western Hemisphere here, which is our backyard. And so President Trump is pursuing this. He's right to do it. If you're being objective in any sense of the matter, you look at a globe from on top, you realize how important Greenland is and why it's so important to the United States.
And then you have Scott Jennings, that idiotic guy on CNN, Trump regime propagandist. But hat tip to Lee McGowan, politics girl from the MeidasTouch network, who karate chops Jennings and just bodies him. Watch this, play this clip.
They should follow the law, but let's not get our knickers in a twist here. There's no
let's not
punishment
get our
for this.
knickers in a twist over child rape. Why are you talking like that? It's insane. Like, it's insane. The Epstein Files
What's
is
insane?
a multinational, multi-generational child and woman sex trafficking ring. So your attitude right now, you're sort of like, well, shucks, devil begun, is just horrifying to me. Every woman in the world that is watching this, why are you acting like you have no idea what's happening here? Scott, this is...
He asked me a question about following the law.
And what
I
I'm
said they
saying
should
to you
follow
is
the
your
law.
attitude. Yeah, and they're not following the law. They're 30 days late on following law, and they didn't explain why they redacted the first things in the first place, which they were also supposed to do.
I know.
Listen,
you
at
have
this
a strong
point, this is
opinion
not...
about it, and
I have a strong
respect that.
opinion about it because it is a
But I think they should-
disgusting
I think they should do it
policy
as
that they are
fast as
doing
they
this.
can.
They are hiding it. It is not the behavior of innocent people. And everything that is in these files it could bring an entire house down. And if it has to, it has to. If it brings down Democrats, bring them down. If it brings down Republicans, bring them down. If it brings down princes, world leaders, Hollywood people, bring them down. But what it feels like right now is that there's a giant cabal of people that do not have to listen to the law, do not have to oppose the law, and they were supposed to do something, then they didn't do something, and now they're trying to have a new law that says we don't even have to do it.
And then going to Democratic Senator Gallego, he goes, Anderson, just stop, Anderson, stop normalizing this. Trump is a madman. He's demented. And Anderson Cooper's like, you actually think he's insane? He's like, yes, the man is threatening to invade Greenland. This is an insane monster. Absolutely. 25th Amendment. Here, play this clip.
It seems like European leaders' strategy so far has been to basically try to de-escalate, reason with the president, and find some kind of an off-ramp. Do you think there is an off-ramp?
No, and I've been very clear. He is a madman. He is insane. He's only thinking about himself. Everything you're hearing, and
you
whatever
really think
Marco
he's
Rubio is
insane?
saying, whatever J.D. Vance are saying, I'm sorry. Where are we at this moment where we don't understand what's happening in this country? The man is threatening war against a NATO ally, and we're all thinking this is rational, right? Let's accept what's happening here. He is not rational right now. He is destroying our world reputation, potentially our economic opportunity, our economic mighty power around the world, because he is being petty. None of this is rational. Everyone needs to stop pretending this is rational.
And then more from Gallego right here. He goes, yeah, he wants to destroy NATO. Play this clip.
The other thing that worries me is what this means for national security. Without him doing anything, without him actually going to Congress, without him going to the American public, he's going to destroy NATO, destroy our whole economy, all because he feels that he got slighted for not getting the Nobel Prize. This is a man that cares about himself, not about this country, and he will screw this whole country in order to make himself feel better in the process.
Now, one of the things that we've learned as well is that the Trump regime threatened Judge Magali Lafcadet, the judge in the case of Marine Le Pen, the far-right extremist leader in France. Marine Le Pen, Putin sympathizer. She's now serving 5 years in prison for embezzling funds. And this judge, who was the judge presiding over the case, said that she was harassed and threatened and coerced by Trump regime envoys who met her in Paris and tried to threaten her. And she said, I immediately reported this to the French authorities. The Trump regime was trying to interfere in Marine Le Pen's court case. Just think about the invasion of France's sovereignty there, threatening a French judge who was overseeing the case. And the French judge did not back down. And Marine Le Pen was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 5 years. Then Sean Hannity brings on Greg Bovino from the Border Patrol and is like, just because you wear a trench coat, that doesn't make you a Nazi. Okay, it's not that he just wears the trench coat. It's that he engages in Nazi tactics, that he engages in Gestapo tactics, in my opinion. I'm giving you my First Amendment opinion speech, right? We still have the First Amendment. So that's my First Amendment opinion speech, that Bovino's tactics are like Nazis, like the SS, like the Gestapo. He goes into these places, throws gas at them, attacks people, kills people. 7 people have died already from ICE and Border Patrol this year alone. Here's what Bovino says. Play this clip.
And get this, many on the left, including in the legacy media mob, are now comparing Border Patrol Chief, Greg Bovino to a Nazi. Nothing new. That's their favorite go-to. Why? Because he's walking around outside in the freezing cold in Minnesota wearing a long overcoat. Here to respond, U.S. Border Patrol Sector Chief Greg Bovino. Oh, so you're trying to stay warm, 0-degree weather, and that's their best response to you?
Sean, good evening, and thanks for having me. Exactly. That trench coat has been around with the Border Patrol since 1924, 101 years. Definitely one of my most warm uniform items that's been issued to me. And, they always go to that Nazi, that Gestapo symbolism when they have nothing else left.
And then finally, Senator Gallegos makes a great point right here. He goes, because Gallegos is a veteran, and he's like, yeah, the Trump regime wants to talk about invading NATO. You're going to send people like my family, people like me when I grew up, to fight these wars. And we shouldn't be fighting these ridiculous wars. Play this clip.
Why? I mean, when you hear the president say he no longer feels obligated to, quote, think purely of peace, how much does that concern you?
Well, it concerns me a lot because the people that end up paying the price of when leaders don't think about peace first are young men, from Ohio, from New Mexico, from Arizona, from New York, that end up going and fighting these dumb wars. So a leader doesn't think first about peace, has never experienced war. And it's going to be a young woman or young man that's going to end up dying in Greenland because of a dumb man's decision and a petty man's decision to take care first of his ego instead of national security. So that, number one, is my first primary concern, because it's not the Trump Jr. kids, not, Don Jr., it's not Barron Jr., none of them are going to be going to these wars. It's going to be another Ruben Gallego. It's going to be another, Schmidt from Ohio. It's going to be another Navajo friend of mine that's going to go fight these wars of these rich men just to fill a hole that he has in his soul.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. And thank you all so much for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.